Next, work round 19. On the wrong side of the fabric, pick up the second row of round 17, the 2 threads behind the 5th double crochet. That is, the stitch on the right side of the DC3 tog. Join the yarn here. Then make 4 chain stitches. Skip the DC3 tog. Pick up the thread from the back of the left double crochet, and make 1 slip stitch. Then make 4 more chain stitches. Next, pick up the decrease of the front post treble crochet in round 18. The thread behind the 3rd single crochet on the right side. And make 1 slip stitch. Then make 4 chain stitches. Next, pick up the decrease of the front post treble crochet, the thread behind the 3rd single crochet on the left side, and make 1 slip stitch. Then make 4 more chain stitches. Pick up the second row of round 17, the thread behind the 5th double crochet, and make 1 slip stitch. Then make 4 more chain stitches. Next, pick up the right side of the decrease where 3 double crochets are worked together, and make 1 slip stitch. Then make 4 chain stitches. For this round, pick up the thread from the wrong side of the fabric and make slip stitches. Between each slip stitch, make 4 chain stitches for the transition. Everyone, continue to complete this round. Note that at the end, you will make 3 chain stitches. Then, at the joining position, make 1 single crochet. This completes round 19. Now, let's move on to round 20. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Then, in the large space on the left side, make 1 double crochet. Follow with 3 chain stitches for the transition. In the same large space below, make 1 double crochet. Then, make 3 more chain stitches for the transition. Next, make a double crochet decrease. Pay attention to working in the spaces below and on the left side. After completing this, make 3 chain stitches. Then, make another double crochet decrease. Similarly, work in the spaces below and on the left side. Then, make 3 chain stitches. Next, make a double crochet decrease. Everyone, continue to refer to the pattern chart. Complete this round. Finally, here you will make 2 chain stitches. Then, in the first double crochet stitch, make 1 single crochet to connect. Round 20 is completed. Now, move on to round 21. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. In the left side space, work 1 double crochet. Then, make 3 chain stitches as a transition. Next, make a double crochet decrease. Everyone, continue to refer to the pattern chart. Complete this round. When finished, join with a slip stitch into the first double crochet stitch. Pull tight. This completes round 21. Now, move on to round 22. Chain 2 as a beginning chain. These 2 chains count as 1/2 double crochet. Then, work 3 half double crochets in the left side chain space. After that, work 2 half double crochets in the next left side stitch. Between the half double crochets, chain 2 as a transition. When working the first half double crochet here, you need to connect it to the CH1 picket from round 18 below. Yarn over. First, pick up the loop behind the picket and insert the hook. Then insert the hook into the corresponding stitch. Yarn over and pull through. Work a half double crochet. Then chain 2. Work another half double crochet in the same stitch. After that, work 3 half double crochets in the left side chain space. Then work 1 half double crochet in the adjacent stitch. Next, work 3 half double crochets in the adjacent chain space. When working the first stitch, connect it to the corresponding single crochet from round 18. First, pick up the yarn behind the single crochet and insert the hook. Then insert the hook into the corresponding chain space. Yarn over and work a half double crochet. Next, work 1 half double crochet in the left side stitch. Work 3 half double crochets in the adjacent chain space. Work 1 half double crochet in the left side stitch. Then work 3 half double crochets in the left side chain space. When working the first stitch, connect it to the yarn behind the corresponding single crochet from round 18. This round consists of half double crochets. When working the corresponding stitches, you need to connect them to round 18. Refer to the positions on the chart and complete the remaining stitches in this round. After the last stitch is completed, join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. This completes round 22. Next, work round 23. Join the yarn at the position of the beginning chain from the previous round. Work 2 chains as a beginning chain. Then, work 1/2 double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches on the left side. After completing these, work 2 half double crochets in the next space on the left side. Work 2 chains as a transition in the middle. Continue to complete this round. After completing it, join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. Round 23 is completed. Weave the yarn tail along the texture to the wrong side of the fabric. Make sure to weave in several stitches. Then, cut off any excess yarn tail. Thread all the yarn tails to the wrong side of the fabric. Weave them in along the texture. This completes motif 1. Use the same method to complete the remaining quantity of motif 1. Now let's look at motif 2. Similarly, use the adjustable magic ring method. Work in rounds counterclockwise from the starting point. You will need to change colors during the process. The new stitch techniques are also marked on the chart. Now, please watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. First, start with an adjustable magic ring. After completing the magic ring, make 3 chains to start. Then, work 3 double crochets into the magic ring. After that, work 2 chains. Continue working 12 double crochets into the magic ring. Work 2 chains between every 4 double crochets as a transition. After completing, close the ring. Then, join with a slip stitch to the beginning chain. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. This completes the first round. Weave the starting tail of the yarn through a few stitches on the wrong side to hide it. Now, let's move on to the second round. Join the yarn in the chain space to the right of where you cut the yarn. Then, make 8 chains. Next, work 1 slip stitch into the left chain space. Continue working 1 slip stitch into each of the remaining 2 chain spaces. Work 8 chains between each slip stitch as a transition. Work the last slip stitch into the chain space where you joined the yarn. This completes the second round. Now, let's move on to the third round. First, transition the yarn to the left chain space. Make 3 chains to start. Then, work 3 double crochets in the same chain space. Pay attention to weaving in the ends. Next, work 2 chains as a transition. Then, work 4 double crochets in the same chain space. After completing this, pick up the V-shaped loop of the slip stitch and work 1 double crochet. This round consists of double crochets. Work 8 double crochets in each chain space. In the middle, work 2 chains as a transition. Work 1 double crochet in the V-shaped loop of the slip stitch. Everyone, complete this round. Join with a slip stitch to the beginning chain. Tighten. Fasten off the yarn. This completes the third round. Now, work the fourth round. At the third stitch from the right side of the beginning chain of the third round. Pick up the back half loop of this stitch and join the yarn. Then, pick up the back half loop of the second stitch from the left side. Work 3 half double crochets. Then, work 2 chains. Next, work 3 more half double crochets in the same position below. After completing, pick up the back half loop of the stitch to the left of the beginning chain. Work 1 slip stitch. Then, work 2 chains. Pick up the back half loop of the second stitch from the left. Work 1 slip stitch. Then, turn the workpiece. Here, on the 3 half double crochet stitches, work 1 half double crochet into each stitch. Then, work 2 half double crochets into the chain space. Work 2 chains in the middle. After completing, in the next 2 stitches on the left, work 1 half double crochet into each stitch. Then, work 1 half double crochet increase into the adjacent stitch. That means working 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. Next, pick up the back half loop of the second stitch from the left at the joining position. Work 1 slip stitch. Cut the yarn. We will consider this as one group. The fourth round consists of working 4 groups of this stitch pattern. Refer to the demonstration here. Work the remaining 3 groups on the remaining 3 sides. This way, the fourth round is completed. Now, let's work the fifth round. In any group of the fourth round, join the yarn in the last half double crochet. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same stitch. Then, pick up the next 4 stitches on the left side, and work 4 single crochets. After completing them, work 2 single crochets in the next hole on the left. Work 2 chains between the single crochets as a transition. Then, work 5 single crochets in sequence. For the 5th single crochet, pick up the chain braid here and work it. After completing it, pick up the front loops of the next 2 chains on the left side and work 1 single crochet in each. Continue working this round all the way down. After completing it, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. That completes the 5th round. Continue following the pattern to complete the 6th round. Next, work the 7th round. In any chain space of the 6th round, join the yarn to the 4th stitch on the left side. Make 3 chains to start. Then, work the corresponding number of double crochets. After completing them, make 3 chains to start. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Pick up each stitch in this row and work 1 double crochet. Note that the first stitch corresponds to the turning chain, so skip it. Skip the first stitch. For the last stitch, pick up the top of the turning chain and work into it. After completing, cut the yarn. The 7th round consists of working 4 groups of this stitch pattern. Complete the remaining 3 groups. That completes the 7th round. Move on to the 8th round. In any chain space of the 4th round. In any 6 chain spaces of the 4th round. In any chain space of the 4th round. Pick up the remaining 2 strands of the chain on the right, and join the yarn here. Make 5 chains to start. These 5 chains count as 1 double treble crochet. Then work 4 more double treble crochets in the same position. After completing, stretch the loop and remove the hook. Insert the hook into the 2 strands at the top of the beginning chain. Draw the loop through. Then make 1 chain to secure. This way, 1 5DC popcorn stitch is completed. Cut the yarn. In this round, you will work 4 such popcorn stitches. Every one, complete the remaining 3. Then move on to the 9th round. Join the yarn at the 4th stitch, on the right side of the 2nd row in the 7th round. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same stitch. Then, in the popcorn stitch of the 8th round, work 6 double crochets. After completing, work 1 single crochet in the 4th stitch, on the left side of the 2nd row in the 7th round. Then, make 3 chains to start. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. In the next 2 double crochet stitches on the left side, work 1 incomplete double crochet each. Yarn over, and draw through once, then complete the remaining stitches. After completing, make 3 chains to start. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Then, in the next 3 stitches on the left side, work 1 double crochet, 3 stitches together. After completing, fasten off the yarn. The 9th round consists of 4 groups of this stitch pattern. Everyone complete the remaining 3 groups. Next, work the 10th round. In the 3rd row of the 9th round, join the yarn in the double crochet 3 stitches together. Then make 7 chains. Next, in the position of the turning chain in the 2nd row of the 7th round, work 1 slip stitch. Then make 6 chains. After completing, work 1 slip stitch in the chain space of the 6th round, then make 6 chains. Next, in the edge of the 2nd row of the 7th round, work 1 slip stitch in the double crochet stitch. Then make 7 chains. Next, in the double crochet 3 stitches together of the 9th row on the left side, work 1 slip stitch. Then make 7 chains. Refer to the pattern chart to finish this round. Pay attention to the number of chains on both sides of the slip stitch in the double crochet 3 stitches together. The number of chains will be different from other positions after completing the last 7 chains. Work 1 slip stitch at the joining position. The 10th round is completed. Move on to the 11th round. Chain 2 as the beginning chain. Then chain 2 for the transition. Next, work 1/2 double crochet in the same position below. Then, work 8 half double crochets in the chain space on the left side. After that, work 6 half double crochets in the adjacent chain space. Then, work 1/2 double crochet in the braid formed by the slip stitch on the left side. Everyone continue to finish this round. The 2 half double crochets at the corner are worked in the slip stitch. After completing, join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain. Cut the yarn. This completes the 11th round. All the yarn tails on the motif should be woven to the wrong side of the fabric and hidden. This completes one motif 2. Everyone finish the remaining motif 2s. Next, let's look at motif 3. Start with a magic ring. Work back and forth along the starting chain. The new stitch techniques used include 3 double treble crochets and 3 stitches for the popcorn stitch. Please watch me demonstrate. First, everyone complete the starting chain and the first row. Note that you don't need to join with a slip stitch after completing it. Cut the yarn. Next, work the second row. Join the yarn in the last stitch of the previous row. Make 3 chains to start. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Then, work 4 chains for the transition. Then, make 1 slip stitch in the left chain space. Continue to finish this row. The last double crochet, work it in the turning chain of the previous row. This completes the second row. Now, move on to the third row. Make 3 chains to start. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Then, work 1 chain for the transition. Next, work in the last stitch of the previous row. Work 1 double crochet. Then, work 3 double crochets in the left chain space. Continue to finish this row. The last 2 double crochets are worked in the turning chain of the previous row. When finished, fasten off the yarn. This completes the third row. Everyone, continue to finish the fourth row. Now, move on to the fifth row. Join the yarn in the turning chain of the third row. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same stitch. Continue to finish this row. Pay attention to working into the top half loop of the chain stitch. For the last stitch, work into the top half loop of the last double crochet of the third row, close to the wrong side. Fasten off the yarn. This completes the fifth row. Everyone, continue to finish the 6th and 7th rows. Note that for the 6th row, join the yarn in the first stitch of the previous row. Move on to the 8th row. At the position of the beginning chain of the 3rd row, pick up the remaining half loop and join the yarn. Then work a 5 DC popcorn stitch. Start with 5 chain stitches as a beginning chain. Then work 2 more triple crochet stitches in the same position. After completing, draw the loop through the beginning chain. Work 1 chain stitch to secure. The 5 DC popcorn stitch is now complete. Fasten off the yarn. Next, complete the middle 5 DC popcorn stitch. After that, work the last 5 DC popcorn stitch. Pick up the remaining half loop of the last double crochet stitch from the 3rd row and join the yarn. Complete this stitch. That finishes the 8th row. Now move on to the 9th row. Join the yarn at the edge of the 7th row on a double crochet stitch. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same position. Then work 3 double crochets into the popcorn stitch. Next, work 1 single crochet into the corresponding stitch of the 7th row. Continue working the rest of the row. The last single crochet of the last group should be worked at the edge of the 7th row. Work it into the position of the beginning chain of the 7th row. That completes the 9th row. Continue working the remaining 2 rows. For the 10th row, join the yarn at the last stitch of the 9th row. For the 11th row, work the last stitch at the joining position of the 10th row. Work it into the joining position of the 10th row. That completes the explanation of how to crochet motif 3. Finish crocheting the remaining number of motif 3. Now let's look at motif 4. Start with the magic ring method. Work back and forth along the starting chain. The method is similar to motif 3. Refer to the chart. Crochet the corresponding number of motif motif 4. That completes the explanation of the motifs. After all the motifs are completed, follow the layout diagram for the motifs. Sew all the motifs together. Now, let me demonstrate the specific joining method. First, join the top right corner of motif 1 and motif 3. Use the same color yarn from the outer edge of motif 1. Place the wrong sides of the two motifs together, with the right sides facing out. Start by connecting the corresponding edge. Insert the needle into the corner of motif 1. The left side chain stitch. Sew from front to back. Pick up the half loop at the highest point of the chain stitch. Then pick up the back loop of the edge double crochet stitch of motif 3. Insert the needle. Pick up these two strands like this. Pull the yarn through. Leave a little yarn tail. To secure it, join through the same position again. Pull the yarn through. Then insert the needle into the half loop above the left side stitch. Go through both pieces at the same time. Insert into the higher half loops. Pull the yarn through. Continue to pick up the half loops of the left side stitches for joining. Pay attention to aligning the two motifs flat. Don't let them shift out of place. Follow this method. And keep joining along this edge. At the corner, the first stitch is a chain stitch. If you encounter a situation where the stitch counts don't match while joining, you can skip 1 or 2 stitches based on the actual situation. Then take out one motif 1 from the left side. Align the wrong sides together. Sew the corresponding edge. Insert the hook into the chain stitch on the left side of the corner. Continue joining until you reach the other corner. End with a chain stitch on the right side. This edge is now joined together. Next, follow the motif arrangement diagram, and continue to join a motif 2. The method is the same as before. If you run out of yarn midway, thread the yarn tail to the wrong side of the fabric. Then tie off and weave in the tail. Then pick up the new yarn and continue joining. Here, I'll demonstrate again the joining of the remaining edge at the top. Pick up the top of the beginning chain. Match it with the chain stitch at the corner. You can join the first stitch position one more time. Continue joining down, sew all the way to the right side chain position. After completing the joining, if the gap at the joining point is large, you can pick any position and join a few extra stitches to secure it. This will ensure that the connection point doesn't have a large gap. Once done, tie off and weave in the tail on the wrong side. Next, everyone can refer to the motif arrangement diagram and join up all the remaining motifs. That concludes the explanation of how to join the motifs. After all the motifs are joined, next, crochet the edging along the outer edge of the motifs. At the top right corner of the blanket, on motif 1. Join the yarn on the side closest to motif 3. Then, work double crochets on motif 1. Work single crochets on motif 4 and motif 3. At the overlapping stitch positions, pick up both layers and crochet them together. Refer to the diagram and complete the first round of the edging. Next, crochet the second round. Join the yarn in the single crochet stitch to the right of the turning chain from the previous round. Chain 4 to start. Then, in the fourth stitch from the left, make 1 slip stitch. Chain 1. Turn the work. In the first chain stitch position here, work 1 DC3 in 1. After completing it, chain 3 to start. Turn the work counterclockwise. Then, in the last stitch, make 1 double crochet. Next, in the next 2 stitches on the left, make 1 double crochet each. After that, in the chain space, make 3 double crochets. Then, chain 1. Next, in the insertion point of the slip stitch, make 1 treble crochet. Then, in the fourth stitch from the left, make 1 slip stitch. Chain 4. In the fourth stitch from the left, make 1 slip stitch. Then, chain 1. Turn the work. In the chain space, make 3 double crochets. In the adjacent stitch, make 1 double crochet. Then, chain 2. In the third stitch from the left, make 1 double crochet. Chain 2. In the beginning chain, make 1 double crochet. Then, chain 3. Turn the work. Then, make a picket of 3. First, chain 3. Then, pick up the top 2 loops of the beginning chain. Make 1 slip stitch. After completing it, chain 2. In the next stitch on the left, make 1 double crochet. Then, chain 2. In the next 4 stitches on the left, make 1 double crochet in each. Then, in the chain space, make 3 double crochets. After completing it, chain 1. Then, in the insertion point of the slip stitch, make 1 treble crochet. Next, in the 4th stitch on the left, make 1 slip stitch. We will consider the 3rd and 4th rows here as one group. Continue working this group of stitches in sequence. I'll demonstrate another group of these stitches. For the rest, refer to the chart. Finish crocheting the remaining part of this round. Pay attention to the corner positions, where you should make half double crochets. If the stitch count doesn't match, adjust according to the actual situation. Adjust by adding or skipping stitches as needed. After completing the last group of treble crochets, make 1 slip stitch at the joining position. Then, work 3 chains. In the double crochet stitch above, make 1 slip stitch. Then, work 2 chains. Turn the workpiece. In the corresponding stitch, make 1 double crochet. Then, work 2 chains and 1 double crochet. Finish the remaining stitches. Once completed, join with a slip stitch in the beginning chain on the left side. Pull tight. Fasten off the yarn. Weave in the ends on the wrong side of the fabric. That's how you finish the edging. Up to this point, the making method for this blanket has been fully explained. If you have any unclear points during the process, feel free to ask. Don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.